Happy Easter. In my life, Easter has always been a very happy time. My mother would make a big thing of it. I remember she would make a lake on the dining room table made of a mirror, and then she'd put skaters on it and so on. She knew that I had a sense of beauty, so she did it for me primarily, and with beautiful flowers and everything. I still remember the beauty of it, but the meaning of it I did not understand until I met Paramhansa Yogananda. And I discovered the role of Christianity is to imitate Christ. He did not come into this world to tell us how great he was. He came to show us how great we can be, how great we are in our potential. We have the potential to become like him. And our whole life should be as an imitation of his actions. Don't ever say, well, he could do it. I can't do it. I'm not like him. It's your job to become like him. I remember one time many years ago, because I was wearing a beard and nobody in those days wore beards, a group of Masons asked me to be Christ in a pageant on Gethsemane. And I didn't speak words, I just sort of sighed and looked miserable and so on. Anyway, the next day, Yogananda asked me about it, and he said, many people said, you look like Christ. I said, sir, I'd much rather be like him than look like him. And he quite casually said, that will come. That's the way he saw us all. He saw our potential. That's how Christ looks at you. He sees your potential. So the important thing in the lesson of Christianity is not the crucifixion. The crucifixion is the path to that absolute beatitude that is the goal of it. We should not think in terms of, I'm being holy because I'm suffering. A true saint is one who doesn't suffer, even if his body suffers, even if the world persecutes him, even if he's burned at the cross. He must accept everything as coming from God and as a part of his grace. So the resurrection that is implied and symbolized by Easter is really, in a sense, the most important Christian holiday, because all of us should try to resurrect ourselves. Now, what does this mean in daily life? It means that, well, you know the saying, this day marks the beginning of the rest of my life. It's the first day of the rest of my life. That is to say, from now on I can change. Don't look at the past. This is why reincarnation is such a necessary fact. Suppose you've been a murderer. If you've always got the burden of that sin weighing upon you, how will you ever come out of it? How will you ever come out of drinking excessively and all your different habits? You have to have a new start. Yogananda one time, in fact, picked up a baby and nearly dropped it because he saw a murderer had been born in that little body. But it gives you a new start in life. And so every day should be a day of resurrection. Every breath, Lahiri Mahasaya said, is in fact the beginning of a new life. When you inhale, if you exhale all your bad habits. This is a part of affirmation, that you throw out of your mind all the things that you want to overcome. And you can change. Yogananda said to me, habits can be changed in a day. They can be changed in a breath. Throw the old out and inhale and bring in the new. And with Easter, it's a reminder once a year, more than New Year's Day, when you make resolutions that most people break within a few hours. But on Easter, tell yourself, as Christ resurrected himself, I want to resurrect myself. Whatever I have been, whatever faults I have had, whatever attachments I have had, whatever I've done wrong in my life, that belongs to the past. From today onward, and make that your affirmation this Easter Sunday, from now on, I will be a saint. From now on, I will be a true Christian by living in the love of Christ. I will be in love with God as he was. And don't say, well, but I'm not pure. You can be pure. Don't worry about what you've done. Gold, though it's covered with mud, remains gold. And though you have been performed many sins, never tell yourself, I am a sinner. Affirm, I am a saint. A saint, Yogananda said, is a sinner who never gave up. You will find that even with a breath, even with a day, with a single affirmation, if you do it with power, you can change your life, you can change the direction of your life. I had a dream some years ago in Florence, Italy. And in that dream, I saw many people, worldly people, greedy people, avaricious people, mafiosi, criminal types. And I realized that all of them are seeking just one thing. They all want happiness. They don't understand how they'll find it, and so they find it on lower octaves, you might say. The highest octave of happiness is bliss. Human happiness, emotional happiness, is a lower octave. Pleasure is a lower octave still. But then even lower octaves, criminals may think by revenge, by getting even, by killing people, they will find happiness. But everybody in the world is seeking bliss, and the only thing is they don't know it yet. But they all have this. They're motivated by this basic desire. And I woke up understanding that that is the motive that I should have for loving everybody. And from then on, I have loved everybody. I looked for a piece of paper. It was a hotel room, and I couldn't usually give you note paper to write on. There was none. Finally, I found a little round doily under a glass, and I wrote these thoughts out. But they've remained firmly embedded in my mind, and I would urge you to have that same thought. Everybody is your brother and sister. Everybody. You should love everybody, because everybody really wants that single bliss. And even if they kill you, even if they persecute you, even if they try to harm you, they're just trying to get unhappiness out of their life, wrong things that they consider wrong out of their lives. What they really are looking for is bliss. Love everybody. And let this Easter be your resolution that from now on, I will love everyone. I will, above all, try to imitate Christ in his, not his death only, his willingness to accept what was not suffering for him. His only pain on the cross was saying, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He only felt suffering for human ignorance. That was his suffering. He didn't feel pain in himself. And the Easter is the final message of Christianity. If you follow this truth to the end, you will be resurrected in God. God bless you.